Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's question is about how to help a struggling friend. And it's from Jesse. He says, "Hey Mark, hope you're doing well and hope you're able to make time to answer this. One of my best friends seems to be really struggling after a bad breakup. He lost his job and mentioned being behind on bills when I asked him why he seemed so stressed. He hasn't asked me for any help or any advice. I'm kind of worried he may have had a relapse. I want to help him, but not sure how. Any suggestions? He's been a very good friend over the years, and I can afford to help him with some of his bills until he gets a new job, but I'm not sure the best way to approach that." All right, Jesse. Well, that's actually a very good question because it shows you're thinking about this thoughtfully and how to actually help your friend. I think sometimes when people have a friend who's struggling or they're trying to help anybody, their ego can get in the way and it becomes less about helping that person and more about making themselves the hero, even if they're not consciously thinking that way. It's like they want to be the Coast Guard who's sailing out to rescue somebody from the stormy seas. And that doesn't always work. I mean, for one, you don't always have the ability, the knowledge, the insight, the expertise to help somebody who's really struggling with something. So you may not be able to be that heroic figure. Maybe you can't be the Coast Guard, but you can always be a safe harbor. You can always be that friend that your group, your little social circle knows you're a safe place to go and talk. You're a safe place to go and just be a shoulder to lean on. And that can be invaluable. So, sometimes you don't have to have any great insight or some special advice to help somebody. Most people usually have a pretty good idea of what they need to do to fix their life or whatever problem they're having. And it doesn't really help for you to just restate the obvious. If somebody is in the throes of a drug addiction or they're struggling with, something like that, it doesn't help to say, "Hey, maybe you just need to stop doing drugs and get your life together." Well, they know that. What may be helpful is for you to say, "Do you want to talk? Can I take you out for a coffee or a lunch?" And just let them express to you kind of what they're struggling with. Sometimes just being able to get out of your own head and talk to somebody who cares is enough to help you focus in on what's most helpful in your situation. Now, there's always times where, as a friend, you may have some tactical expertise. If you have a friend who's got a legal problem and you're a lawyer, obviously you've got tactical expertise and you can say, go from point A to point B, do this, take a left, take a right, and you can give them a roadmap. You may have been through a very similar situation and you have some unique insight or unique perspective. That's all helpful. But just to kind of lecture somebody for the sake of being holier than thou, that's not helpful. You're very likely to push your friend further away. So I applaud you for thinking about how to do this in the way that's most beneficial for your friend. And I think if he hasn't asked you for any advice, maybe one of the best things you can do is just offer to take him out for dinner or coffee or lunch, whatever it may be. Invite him over to your place and cook. Somewhere where he's comfortable and it feels private and safe and secure. And just without turning it into an inquisition, just ask him how he's doing and point out, you're worried about him. He doesn't seem as happy as he used to be. Point out, whatever it is you think is concerning, but do it in a gentle, non-accusatory way. Not like you're demanding answers, not like your friend owes you an explanation. Just open the door, and you'd be surprised how often people will step through. And he may not be in a place where he's ready to talk about it, in which case, enjoy your dinner, talk about other things, and let him know you're always there if he does want to talk, and leave it at that. The other thing is, if he does start to take you up on the offer to talk about his problems, let him do it at his speed. And don't follow up daily. Don't turn it into this, big brother type situation where you're checking in every day and give me a status update. How are you feeling today? Unless he leads you to think that that's something that he would like. Maybe he does want an accountability partner, but maybe he doesn't. Different people respond differently in those situations. Some people love to be checked in on daily, and that is very comforting and reassuring to them. And other people who are struggling love knowing they have a friend who cares and they can reach out to, but they don't want to have to restate the same thing day in and day out. How are you feeling today? Oh, I'm feeling sad. The next day, hey, how's your day going? Oh, I'm feeling sad. What? Well, the same reason I was sad yesterday and the day before. So part of being a good friend in these situations is making a reasonable accommodation for your friend who's struggling so you can help them in a way that is best for them. It's not always the most rewarding to you, but that's not what it's about when you're helping a friend. Now, as far, you mentioned a relapse, so substance abuse of some kind, drugs or alcohol. You can casually mention that, but again, don't turn it into an inquisition. He may say, yeah, I slipped up, I'm really, really depressed, went back to doing whatever it is. And then you can, obviously he knows he needs to get back on the wagon. And you can always say, like, if you ever need help finding a counselor, if you want somebody to, take you to a meeting or something like that, you can always call me. Not that he needs you to go to a counselor or a meeting, but just something to let him know that I've got your back. No judgments here. And then he'll probably, if he was able to get clean and sober before, he knows the steps how to do that. But just to know he's got a friend who cares and is a cheerleader rooting for him, I think that's about as much as you can do on that front, unless you have some expertise in addiction. And again, you don't know that that's going on. As far as helping him with his bills, that is incredibly generous. It also shows you're a good friend, because very often friends are quick to give you advice and not so quick to help you with something that is like materially helpful in the moment, i.e. money. Now, you don't want to practice enabling. You don't want to put yourself in a position where you're obligated to help more than you can or more than you're comfortable with. But I actually think it's probably a good thing that if he's in a really tight pinch and you have the money available, that you help him out. I would, for the sake of the friendship, be extremely clear when it comes to that part of it. That's not an area you want to kind of like leave a lot of ambiguity. So you could say, hey, I got a bonus at work, or I made some, my investments did a little better than I thought this quarter or this year. I've got some extra money. I know you're between jobs. I don't have enough to, do this all the time, but I'd really, really like to give you a gift, and leave it at that. Don't make it a loan. Don't make it conditional. Just say, I've got a little bit of extra margin right now, and I'd like to help you because you're my friend. That way, it doesn't put an unnecessary strain on the friendship where he feels like he's mooching off of you, or he feels embarrassed. Just very clear, hey, let me help you out. I got a little extra money right now. Please take it as a gift. I know you do the same for me. You phrase it that way. And then just make sure he knows that it's not something you can do regularly. That way there's no obligation on your end. And leave it at that. And then just do what it sounds like you've been doing this whole time. Be a good friend. That's as much as you can do. Hopefully he's able to work through this and get back on his feet and get back to enjoying life. The world needs more friends like you. I have to say, I've been so fortunate in life that I've gotten to be that friend for other people, and even more fortunate, I've been lucky enough to have friends who do that for me. Just, there's very few things, there is nothing more comforting in the world than unconditional love, whether it comes from a friend or a family member, but just to have somebody you know is in your corner rooting for you. So keep up the good work, keep being the good friend that you are, and I hope this advice helps you. Thanks for tuning in. See you all next time.